Lesson number 11, the third window, or really it's the cable and or video DVD sale. What we're assuming now is you've made your film, you got it into the proper or major festival, the theater sold out, the acquisition executives came, in the lobby of the theater, 5 or 10 of them are coming up with their cards saying they want to buy your film. And it's a weird one because the word buy is not a proper word. They want to buy your film. You're now not alone. You don't know what to do, but all of a sudden people that are called agents, entertainment attorneys, and producers' reps are coming up to you and wanting to represent you. And now, in the next 18 to 24 hours, they set up 6 to 10 lunches or breakfasts, whatever you want to call it, and you'll sit down to talk each of their offers and their deal memo points. They want to purchase your film, buy your film, distribute your film. The biggest revenue source will probably come from the third window. You don't know what the word window means yet. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the third window, for usually a 6 to 9 month, new phrase, exclusivity period, will go to the cable network, and not a basic cable network, pay cable network, or a video DV distributor. Here's what I'll titillate you first with what the windows are. Right over here, see this for profits. See the flow that's up there. Basic game plan we're going to be getting into more and more is what's up here. Here you are with your independent film. You go to a film festival. You hope that a lot of distributors send their acquisition execs. They pick up your film, they distribute it, and they put it in theaters. That's called the theatrical window. But they got to put behind it the big P&A budget. They put it in theaters, they put in the P&A budget, now it's worth $10. It has a value. They're going to keep it there long enough that the consumer thinks it has a value. If the consumers are going to the movie and going in large numbers, they'll keep it there and keep it there and keep it there, and they'll actually make a profit during the theatrical window. But 9 out of 10 films lose money during the theatrical window. That's when we're advertising. That's when we're promoting. Did you ever notice when we first distribute the film, we tell you what it's grossed, which is not the word profit. It grossed 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, et cetera, 40 million, 50 million. And then 6 months later, you start hearing how much money it lost. What they're talking about, and it's true, they're not lying, they're marketing what happened during the theatrical window. But now it has value that we can sell it to the pay-per-view industry or the hotel-motel industry and the airline industry for a 30-day to 90-day window. Then we could sell it to where we're going to in this session, right here. This is where the big check comes. We taught everybody it's worth $10. We would love it to do big enough box office gross that it pays for the cost of the film and pays for the P&A budget. But if it doesn't and we keep it out there long enough, big check coming from here, the third window. First window, second window, third window, then basic cable, then network syndication. This is what we're getting into now, putting the puzzle together. Let's just focus on the third window, which is to either the cable or the DVD video distributor. A sale to some company representing that industry, but not to both, for the third window. First off, first thing you got to understand is the cable industry and the video industry hate each other. They hate each other. They're both in competition for product for the third window. Watch. If your film becomes a movie and then HBO or Showtime puts it on pay cable 6 months later, 20 times that month. Then 2 months later, it's at the video stores. Are you going to rent it? You're not. You saw it on HBO Showtime 15 times already. You're tired of it. So it killed the video sale. What if your film becomes a movie and a video distributor picks it up and puts it in video stores, the Blockbusters, Hollywood Video, and then you go in and you rent it for $3. And then 3 or 6 months later, it's on pay cable. You're not happy because pay cable, HBO or Showtime, they keep telling you, I'll give you movies. We're giving you movies, 5, 10, 20 movies a month, every month. And after a while, you find out, they say they're giving me movies, but they're not giving me movies. They're giving me stuff I can rent at the video store for $3. Then for whatever reason, the cable industry came up with this word churn. The churn factor is too high on your product. We can't pick it up. That's cancellation. Because if they play your film that became a movie, but then went to video first, then they put it on HBO, sometimes they're scared that too many people get pissed off and cancel their subscription to HBO because of that. Because HBO oversold movies, but they're delivering stuff that's in video stores. So do you see? Both the pay cable networks and the video distributors want your product. Only if it becomes a movie. Don't you talk to me about going directly to video or directly to pay cable or basic cable. That's another subject. Right now we're talking about movies. Your film becomes a movie, the big P&A budget. Now the consumer sees those ads in those newspapers. It's a thing. Now pay cable and video want it. But they're both in competition for that product. And they're in competition for what's called the third window, which is a 6 to 9 month period. So if the video distributor gives you a $10, $15 million check, they want it, and they're going to say in one sentence, exclusivity, that during these 6 to 9 months, it cannot air anywhere else in North America. However, if you would like to put it back in theaters and do some more P&A while they're still got it at video stores or on cable, they'll let you do that. But you can't put it on basic cable, you can't put it on TV, you can't put on those other revenues. So let's get back now and learn a little bit about the cable industry so you understand the cable industry. It popped up in America 20 to 30 years ago. America was the first nation to get cable on a big scale. We're to the point right now in America, we are 90% penetrated with cable. What does that mean? If there are 100, it's called 110 million households in America. A household is a person that has a house or an apartment unit. Of 110 million households in America, 90% of them have made a buying decision to spend an extra $20 to $100 a month to buy some more channels. In America, we have almost 90% cable saturation, be it through the wire, that's cable, from satellite, which is DirecTV or Dish coming down. But we have 90% of America is spending an extra $20 to $100 a month throwing into the pool of money for us filmmakers, producers. So there are 90 million households out there right now that have these boxes. Cable supposedly started a long time ago. I've heard the story either Texas or Pennsylvania. I heard Texans tell me it's Texas, and I have people from Pennsylvania tell me it's Pennsylvania. But it started a long time ago, 25 years ago, when Sunday football, the local people, the farmers in Texas or Pennsylvania, wanted to see the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys or whatever. And they only had TV. And they lived in the valley, so they couldn't get good TV reception. But if they came into town, there was a bar that had a tall antenna that could get the reception. And with that bar, the bar owner then eventually found out, I have the tall antenna, I can get the good reception. If I take a wire attached to my antenna and I string it out to your farm a mile from here, you'll get good TV reception. I'll charge you $15 a month, and you could see the Philadelphia Eagles. Or you could see and it started. That wire is cable. And that's how it started. And then a box. Somebody came up with a box that says, up there in the sky, after 5-10 years, we found out that there are cable operators. This bar owner who stopped being a bar and now became a cable operator that has 1,000 people or 10,000 people paying him $15 to $20 a month to get good TV reception. That was the first. Then access to a couple of football, basketball, baseball games. Then all of a sudden there are enough of these cable operators. Today there are about 12,000 cable operators in North America. Each one having 5,000 to 100,000 subscribers, paying $20 to $100 a month. Now what came up is next, after the first 100 or 200 cable operators, bar owners, local cities, I wanted to use, I'm the local bar owner. I want to do a cable system, but to be efficient, I want to use the telephone poles to wire, to send out to people. So the city says, you know, you want us to give you the franchise? We'll give you an exclusivity for 10 years. What are you going to do for my constituents? So then we said, tell you what, we'll only charge your constituents $12 a month. We'll give them good television reception. And up there in the sky, there are a bunch of other networks. MTV, VH1, CNN, we'll pull them down. And when we pull them down, they charge us 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents per subscriber. But we'll put together 30 of them at an average cost of 20 cents per subscriber, so that's $6. So I pulled down 30 networks from the sky, costing me, the cable operator, $6, and I sell it to you, the consumer that lives in Philadelphia or a suburb, for $40 or $30 for basic cable, good television reception, and the local sports thing. Then the next thing, the city said, in order to get the franchise, the exclusivity, they said, well, what are you going to do for us, my local constituents, besides this stuff? It's pretty good. So what we said, the cable operators, is we'll create a local studio. And we'll put one channel aside for any local person to come in, use the studio, use the equipment. You can go out and shoot the local high school football game, or you can go and shoot the city council while they're at work for the 3 hours they work every month. And we can put them on this cable channel, which is called LO or PA, the LO or PA channel, which I have up here. That's public access or local origination. So when you sign up for cable and you get your 30, 50, 60 channels now, you'll always see a couple of channels where it's the stupid show where a woman is interviewing a plant. And just talking to a plant, but plants have feelings. And we're very excited, next week we have a black orchid. Stay tuned. It's those dumb shows. By the way, if you want to produce a show for cable, you'll do it. For local origination, public access, it's free. Call your local cable operator. They'll even give you a class on how to use the equipment for free. And they'll put it on PALO, and you can look at yourself. But you're only seeing it with the 5,000 or 10,000 people who live in the local community. And you're not allowed to advertise. You're not even allowed to really put phone numbers up there. So it's just sort of, it's fun, it's cool, it's a little token ego gratification. There's no business logic to it whatsoever. Next thing that came up with cable about 20 years ago is little entrepreneurs that used to be in the infomercial business would say, we want to sell a product. We want to put a phone number there so you can call in. Then these cable operators said, all right, we'll lease you or rent you one of our channels. We have 30, 40, 50 channels, of which 25 we're pulling down to 35 from the sky. But we got 4 or 5 available, of which we're making 2 available for free. That's called the PA and LO, the Public Access Local Original. But we have another one that we'll call it lease renting, lease access. So you can actually go to your local cable operator and rent a 30-minute time period for $50 to $150. But remember, that's not national, guys. And you're only reaching 8,000 people in Studio City or Culver City. And of the 8,000 people, probably only 12 are watching the show. But maybe they'll buy your hair product or something. It's a business, lease access, lease access. That's cable. That's cable also. Money, though, came in. Here's for you, the independent filmmakers. Money came in, though. The real sale to you is basic cable. Basic cable. Basic cables are all those other channels that have commercials. TNT, TBS, VH1, MTV, CNN, USA Network, Lifetime Network. You can sell your film to some of these basic cable networks, which are in all the cable systems around North America, and get a decent check. But it's not a big check. Remember, your film's not a movie yet. So you can get some, quote, basic cable sales, although I doubt it, to networks that program for specific narrowcasting demographics. That could be Lifetime Channel, USA Channel. Who knows, if you got kids that sing, MTV, maybe it's an offshoot of one of the Disney ones. The main ones, though, that you know about are the Sundance Channel and the Independent Film Channel, of which you're not going to sell yours to both of them. But there's a sale there, but it's not a big sale, guys. It's $5,000, about $200,000, of which they're allowed to air it 20, 30, 50 times over an X period of time. So it's a sale. It's a decent check to cable. What I'm doing is when you're saying you know somebody that works for cable, or I'm going to sell to cable, that you get mature enough to know what bracket you're talking at. So there's basic cable, the Independent Film Channel, Sundance Channel, and they do buy every now and then independent films from independent filmmakers. Now, you know what that is? An independent film is a film that's had no theatrical distribution. So it's not a movie. You know when, I've been very clear when I say the word film or movie. The film channels, basic cable networks. Here's where the real money is at. Pay cable, not basic cable. Not lease access, not LLPA, pay cable. There are only 3 pay cable networks. HBO, home box office. Next, Showtime. Next, Encore Stars. There's another one called Cinemax, but HBO owns Cinemax and programs for Cinemax. There's another one called TMC, the movie channel, but Showtime owns the movie channel. And then Encore and Stars have different ones. But it's really one of 3 companies that you can sell to get that fantasy check of $500,000 to $20 million. It's either HBO, Showtime, or Encore Stars. And by the way, HBO has made deals with, of the 6 major distributors, has probably made deals with 3 of them and automatically gets their product. Showtime then made deals with the other 3. What does Encore Stars do? They're the last ones to pop up about 5 years, 7 years ago. They then went to the mini majors and made deals with them, and to high-profile producers that are manufacturing a fair amount of product. You are going to get a very good sale from cable, but specifically it's going to be a pay cable network. And it's either going to be HBO or Showtime or Encore Stars, not all 3, not 2 of them, only one of them. And you're only going to get a big check if they get it for the 3rd window, and you're not allowed to give it to video distributors for about 6 or 9 months later. Then you get a big sale. It's pay cable. It's pay cable. Next, there's a new thing that started popping up about 10 years ago, that's cable, called pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. What these movie distributors found out, and they realized that 10 years ago we had about 80% cable penetration in America, or saturation, which means approximately 90 million households in North America have a box sitting on their television set. I think every one of you in the class right now has it. This is 100% penetration. Then it was 80%. And we realized we had 90 million people in North America that have a box sitting on their television set that wasn't there 20 years ago that has some interactive capability to it. Very small, but it has some. So a distributor, in a moment of genius, which turned out to be stupidity, but in a moment of genius, blue sky projections something out and goes, we'll make a killing. All we have to do is make a film for about $3 million, $4 million, put a movie act, we'll call it 7 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20 million, put a movie actor in it for 2 weeks, put it in theaters with a $4 million P&A campaign for 1 week, 6 days. Put it in theaters, make a splash, full newspaper, 4-color ads, full-page ads in every newspaper in North America every day for a week. In Time magazine, Newsweek magazine, Rolling Stone magazine, Sports Illustrated. And we spend $5 million this week. And we put it in theaters and we tell you it's a movie. It's a movie. You think it's a movie. You see the ads. We put it there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then on Monday, we tell you it grossed $5 million, $7 million, $10 million this weekend. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we pull it. We pull it instantly. We don't wait 6 or 9 months. We pull it right away while it's fresh in your mind. And we tell you it's a movie, and you can see it at home on your cable pay-per-view channel. And in those days, we wanted to charge $6. So you could see this movie instantly at home that we told you is $10 for $6. And all we wanted is 1 out of 10 of you to sign up for $6. We were sure we'd get that. That's a piece of cake. It's brand new. It's fresh. You still think it's a movie. And now you can get it at home so fresh and so instant. And if there are 90 million people at home and only 1 out of 10 buys it, that's 9 million sales times $6, 54 million. Wow! Decadence. Let's do it. So the studios tried it. It bombed. It bombed. It bombed. What they keep forgetting about is how lazy the consumer is when they're at home at night. I'm very proud that I have a wonderful work ethic. I get up at 6:15 every morning. I wash. I read the newspaper. I check out the sports page. I even have time to look at the stats. I chat with my wife before she goes off or does whatever she does every day, and I go off. I come to work. And at the end of the day, I usually leave here at 7 o'clock. I get home 7:30, 8 o'clock if traffic's bad. God bless my wonderful wife, never asks me when I'm coming home. She knows I'm coming home. Dinner is always warm. It takes about 3 minutes. The rule in our house is if she cooks, I can't read. If I pick up food or we call out, then we sit in front of the TV or I read a newspaper at the dinner table. If she cooks, I don't read. I will sit and talk with her. God bless her. So if I come home, she's made dinner, I sit down at dinner, I put my mind totally into my wife, I chit-chat, and then afterwards, it's now 8:30, I'm tired. I go to the TV set. I'm a male. I pick up the remote, I got 90 channels. This is the only energy level I can muster in the next 2 to 3 hours. This is all I do. I work out every day. I pump remote. Look at this fat little muscle I have right there. You know, I've been doing this for 30 years, pumping remote right here, that this hand has gotten so fat, to buy a pair of gloves, I got to go in the little fat boys department of Macy's. Then I have to buy the glove, I got to go over to a shoesmith and have him put in a 1/4 inch of leather to stretch it out because I am a male that flicks the remote all the time. Now I'm flicking the remote, and I flick to that pay-per-view channel. Ooh, there's that movie. It was just in theaters yesterday. Wow. And I can see it now. You know what I got to do now if I want it? Remember, I'm tired. I'm lazy. It's a phone number. They tell me to memorize that phone number. I got to memorize that phone. Oh, darn. You know how hard it is to memorize a phone number at night? I will not do it. You tell me a phone number between 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon that I can make money from you, it will be in my head for 30 years. You tell me a phone number at night, it doesn't go in and come out. It doesn't even go in. So I got to memorize. Oh, I can't memorize. I got to stand up. I got to go get a pencil, a paper, finding that. I got to write the number down. Now I got to go find a phone. I got to dial. It's 8:48 at night. And if I want this thing, they tell me I got to wait until 9 o'clock. A 12-minute attention span when I, a male, have a remote in my hand with 85 other channels? No way. I have never done it. In this last year, I've probably driven home 30 times telling myself, I am going to do it tonight to learn to be a better teacher for you people so I can find out what they're doing to marketing to you so I can communicate it better to you. And when I get at home, I'm just so tired, I forget about it, and I just get into the couch and I just don't do it. So pay-per-view, the projections are there. It's massive, it's massive, it's massive, it's massive. But it keeps bombing because you, the consumer, want instant gratification and you're too lazy at home. Now, of the 90% cable penetration, about 5% of you have a more advanced cable operator that rewired the city, that's got a newer box, that has instant gratification, that you can see it within 15 seconds. Of the 12,000 systems, guys, that's only about 200. And most of you that still have the dish, and I got the dish, I'm sorry, they're still telling me to wait 12 to 18 minutes, even though they tell me it's instant. And every time I try it, it's 12 to 18 minutes. I got to wait until 9 o'clock or 9:30. So I've never done it. But wait, pay-per-view has found a little niche in what's called video on demand, which is really the hotel-motel industry. I spend probably 50 to 100, now 100 is too many, 50 to 80 nights in hotels every year. And that's a better, more active cable box. It's more sophisticated. I have a choice of 5 to 20 movies. And if I want to see it, all I have to do is pick up the remote, hit the button, and it takes still 12 to 20 seconds to load, so they tease me with something during that 12 to 20 seconds. But that's not pay-per-view. That is a little bit pay-per-view, but it's nicknamed now video on demand. And when you wait 12, 15, 20 seconds to load, it's really called NVOD, near video on demand. Now, where we're going to in Hollywood in the movie industry is a new phrase that's called SVOD, not NVOD, SVOD. And I believe this is where we're going to get you, but it's 2 to 3 years away. And by the way, I've been hearing it's 2 to 3 years away for 15 to 20 years. And it's still 2 to 3 years away. Subscription video on demand is when we put all the stuff up there in the sky, and I just get you for $4.95 a month. You subscribe, and I'll give you 100 hours of whatever you want. That's SVOD. We don't have to hit you up each time. Now, pay-per-view, we think it's wonderful. It keeps bombing. The only time it succeeds is a boxing match. It's a boxing match. Maybe the Olympics, they tried it. We tried the opera, we tried ballet, we tried original Broadway productions. You said you wanted culture, bull. They all failed miserably, every one of them. You want boxing matches, and World Wrestling Federation, and the Ultimate Fighter. Anyway, cable. So you understand something about cable now. There's the history of how it started, There's local origination, public access, those little talking head things. They're free. You can do it too. Go ahead. Get a couple free classes. It's decent equipment. Learn how to use it. But you can't make money with it. Now, there's lease access, but it's such a small demographics of the audience you reach. So if you want to sell something, it's usually the infomercial industry, you got to make up about 5,000 cassettes and mail them out to all the different cable operators to try and get enough of a demographic to sell something. And that logistics, it's too expensive to do it. And right now, it's sort of the web took over for that demographics. I'd rather do some marketing on the web. It's much simpler and cheaper than doing that one. Next, money in the cable industry is basic cable. There's a little bit of money from basic cable networks. But really, you know where you're going to, the independent film channel or Sundance channel, but it's not a big buck. It's not a big sale. And it's one or the other. The big sale is pay cable. Pay cable. There are three entities there, HBO, Showtime, or Encore Stars. There are two others, by the way, and they're sort of networks with about 3 or 4 channels. The Playboy network is pay cable, and you could buy a 4-hour block tonight. That's like a little bit like pay-per-view, and certain Disney things are like that also. But it's really HBO, Showtime, Encore Stars. You're only going to get one sale to one of them, and to get the really good sale, they're going to demand a 6 to 9 month exclusivity period, that it can't be any other exploitating revenue source. But they'll let you put it back in movie theaters and show the consumer a little bit more why it's worth $10, that it helps their revenue. That's cable. The real money is in pay-per-view down the road, but it's not pay-per-view. It's the hotel-motel industry, video on demand, and it's not big money right now. But it's down the road, subscription video on demand. That's the big money, but down the road. I've been hearing down the road now for 20 years. And, you know, I'm still hearing the same, it's 2 to 3 years away, 2 to 3 years away, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go back now, the video industry. Let's learn something about the video industry. The main organization of the video industry is an organization called the VSDA, Video Software Distributors Association. They're in, I believe their office is in Encino, California. There are at the most 40,000 Ma and Pa and Blockbuster Hollywood video chain video stores in North America. They all belong to the VSDA. If your film becomes a movie, did you hear that phrase? If your film becomes a movie, newspaper ads, P&A budget, then a video distributor wants to market to those members of the VSDA and those 40,000 stores. So if your film becomes a movie with full-page ads, big budget movie, then those video stores are going to buy it. You know they're going to buy it. And go to Blockbuster. How many do you see? It's on the top 2 shelves. Count the cassettes. It'll be at least 20 of them. You want to count them now? 40,000 stores times 20 cassettes each. That's 800,000 cassettes. I don't know where this number came up, but right now they're selling it for $107 and change to the video stores, each one, each cassette. So let's multiply 800,000 cassettes times $100. Did you come up with the number yet? That's 80 million for those full newspaper ads. 80 million if your film becomes a movie with those big newspaper ads. By the way, the video store is always complying. Why are we charging so much? Because you get it. You rent it out every day, especially you love those late fees. And you rent it out at $3 a day, so in 1 month you're paying the cost. And the second month you're making a profit. And the third month, when it's boring, you'll take 18 of them and sell them for $5, $10, $15. And you put the other 2 in your drama classic sections. And then there's a new one, and that's the cycling of the industry. If your film becomes a movie with those full newspaper ads, there's a massive check coming from the video distributor. There's a massive, massive check coming from the video distributor who wants exclusivity from the third window, but watch. Did you get a deal with a distributor, a theatrical distributor, that allows you to keep the revenue from the third window? Oh. It's not automatically yours, guys. I just threw that in now. This is part of the distribution deal. It's not just about, give me some money, and does the audience come? It's now about these windows, which is really where most of the profit comes from. So that's what you're going to start thinking when we get into distribution deals. And the biggest check of all the windows is the third window. That's either going to be a check from the pay cable network or the video distributor. The video distributor. And the video distributor will make a decision on whether or not your product is going to be a rental. Then they sell it to the stores at about $107, or it's a sell-through, which means we think the consumer actually wants to buy it and collect it. The first company that started doing this was Disney with all the animation. I'm sure every one of you, of the first videos that you ever bought, were those $14.95, $19.95 for your nephews, your nieces, your grandsons, etc. You know it. We know it. But who knows? Maybe you want to collect a Tarantino. Maybe you want an original a Kubrick. So if the distributor, in their infinite wisdom, thinks, you know, we'll make more money by taking this product and instead of renting it in video stores, we'll price it a lot lower so the Walmarts and the Kmarts will sell it. And they'll buy 10 times more videos and will sell it to you like Titanic so you could put it in a stocking stuffer as a Christmas gift. Then we figure we'll make more money by packaging and pricing it as sell-through rather than as a rental at the video stores. But that's for them to make their decision. And then they offer you a check, walk away. So is it a rental or is it a sell-through? Now, an interesting thing started happening a couple years ago. A new thing popped up, DVD. What's the pricing on DVD? These DVDs have been priced at $14.95 to $19.95 by the same video distributor that is trying to get video stores to buy their rentals at $107 or their VHS sell-throughs at $14.95. Here's this new thing, because we're geeks now and we're computer comfortable. It's this new thing, $19.95. Ooh, everybody seems to want this now. And I do too. And my wife and I at home have bought about 200 of them already. You know why? This is my opinion. They're cute. They're like paperback books. They're collectible. I may never even look at them. I just put them on the shelf. It's so cute. I've got a lot of books on our bookshelf that I've never read. I'm proud of them. I don't know why DVD's happening like that. You sort of call them now, we call them film schools in a cassette. You know, because you got the movie, then we do something on the making of the movie, an interview with the producer, writer, director, actor, like you think you're going to learn something. And you always love seeing the outtakes, so we put in an extra hour, 2 hours of stuff. And we price it at $14.95, $19.95, and you guys are buying it. So it's a golden era for us people that have the rights to these movies from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and the rights to all these old TV series that we're repackaging that now have a new life of repackaging as a DVD sell-through. Because whatever reason, VHS, unless it was like something Disney-esque, we didn't buy them. They were sort of too bulky. It wasn't so cool after a while once you got more than 5. But these DVDs, I'm just talking emotional. I'm not using any business expertise, any $1 billion worth of marketing research. I'm just going on emotion. I believe they're collectible, and I don't see it going away. It's massive. So right now, the video stores have converted to DVDs. But you know what? It's a golden era for us. They got to buy some VHS still, and they'll buy DVDs more. And instead of buying them, they're buying them more at a price the consumer's buying them at $19.95. Before it was $14.95 and they didn't really buy them that much. Golden, golden. There's always something every 3 to 5 years that fuels the film industry. 3 to 5 years ago is the foreign television industry. 7 to 10 years before that, it was the foreign sale industry. 5 to 7 years before that, it was the North American tax shelter industry. 5 to 7 years before that, it was the North American syndication industry. There's always something popping up. There'll be something, whenever you see this videotape, there'll be something else fueling it, be it the web, seeing movies in my glasses. Anytime I hit my glass over here, I'll be able to see a movie when I'm in the airport. I can project it on anything. I don't know. There'll be something coming up next, etc. So right now, we're still in the third window, the video industry. And now it's gone to DVD. We're not VHS anymore. We're DVD, although those stores still have those VHS cassettes, so we still will sell some of them. But it's DVD. Think of VHS converted to DVD. Next, the window is shrinking. The window from the theatrical window to the pay-per-view window, then the pay-per-view window to the third window, which is either the video sale or the pay cable sale, which used to be 6 to 9 months, is shrinking. Because now that we can sell you something quickly in 1995, hit and get out, we're trying to market it to you as it's closer to it was just in theaters. It was just in theaters. It was just in theaters. And if it's close to just being in theaters, I might get you to buy it for $19.95. If you got to wait 9 months, 6 months, I don't think you'll buy it, but you'll probably rent it. So the window, the third window, is now shrinking. So when you hear the videotape, when you hear this class, the third window exclusivity period may not be 6 to 9 months. It could be 3 to 6 months now. Or it could be 30 to 90 days. Depending upon how quick the consumer starts picking up and buying these DVDs, then I, the distributor, how much money do I pencil I can make by selling it to them that quick? So the window's shrinking. But let's get into these fantasy fairy tale stories that you read about, made from video. When you hear that somebody is making something made from video, number one, it probably isn't shot video, maybe it is. But when somebody says they're making something made from video, you know what they're telling you? Right away up front, they know it stinks. It's not good enough to get a distributor to put the P&A money behind it to make it into a movie. But they feel they've got this niche or this genre that if they put a pretty box around it, that when you go to the video DVD store and you see the box, why not? $3, check it out. So that's the made-from video. So made-from video means, and by the way, it doesn't have to be 90 to 120 minutes. When you rent one of those, you don't know how long it is. So made-from video, you can go 60, 70 minutes, a 60-page script. Next, you don't have to shoot 35 millimeter because if it's only going to be seen on a television set, there's no reason to do overkill 35 millimeter. If you want it to look like film, absolutely, shoot 16 millimeter. Do not shoot 35 millimeter. That's a stupid decision if the end product is TV, video, or broadcasting is where the revenue is going to come from. You only shoot 35 millimeter if you plan to be in the movie theater, if you can afford it. So made-from video is the 60 to 70-page script. That means it's a one-week shoot, guys. But probably shoot 16 millimeter, although most of you shoot digital. That's tape. And come up with some interesting genre, stupid box that you put on top of it. Now, of the 40,000 stores, you're hoping now this is not a movie. You're trying to sell directly to home video. You join the VSDA. They have a convention once a year. It's usually in Las Vegas. They have an exhibit floor that has about 200 video distributors. And you're going to join, rent the floor space, rent 100 or 200 square feet, and wait for those 40,000 mom and pop video store owners to walk through going, what do you got? 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 And you hope that 1 out of 10 of those stores buys 1 cassette. You're not going to sell to these stores, if it's not a movie, for $107, guys. At the most, they'll buy this 1 cassette. It's $30, $29.95. Next, they expect 1/3 to 40% discount because they're retail now too. So let's say you can expect 1 out of 4 you're fantasizing about. 1 out of 4 stores to order 1 cassette. That's 10,000 cassettes. At $30, that's 300,000. But subtract 40% for wholesale retail. You're down now to 180,000. Now, how do these 40,000 stores know about your thing? You probably made a poster and a flyer and mailed it out to the 40,000. I'd say that cost you $20,000. Next, you join the video organization, the exhibiting floor. Next, if you get 10,000 orders, you got to manufacture dubbed 10,000 cassettes. Design the box. So eventually, if you're successful, of the 180,000 gross, you probably have about $100,000 to $120,000 in costs. So what's left over if you're successful is about a $60,000 profit if you do it yourself. Oh, you don't want to do it yourself, so you want to make it and then get a distributor to do it for you. So I guarantee you, I'm not giving you, if I'm successful, $60,000 so I can break even. So I might give you 5, 10, or 20,000. If your film becomes a movie with the full newspaper ads, the 40,000 stores will order 20 cassettes at $107 each. There's $80 million from the third window from a video company for revenue. If you go directly to home video, here's about 20,000. By the way, for most of you in this class that couldn't afford to be in this class, that's pretty good, so you might as well do it. But now you know the difference. Now you know the difference, and you know made for home video. So now you have some understanding about just the third window. You have a little bit more understanding of the video industry, DVD industry, than the cable industry, a little bit on the future of pay-per-view, video on demand, subscription video on demand, and you got a little bit about revenue, about where we're going. But what we're going to do now is start the next lesson. We're going to start putting the puzzle together. The next big revenue for you, which is actually bigger than the video and the pay cable, is foreign market, foreign revenue. 30 years ago, if a film grossed $100 million US box office, it'll gross $20 to $30 million foreign. That was 30 years ago, for a combined world gross of 120 to 130 million. Today, in the 21st century, if a film grosses 100 million US, it will gross probably 130 to 150 million foreign, for a combined world gross of 230 to 250 million. Because in North America, we've been saturated with revenue for films. But you've noticed around the world, other nations, they don't have multiplexes. They're just starting to build them. They don't have a bunch of other television networks. They just started getting them. They don't have a lot of cable. They don't have a lot of these little video stores. So it's growing, growing. America, we've been saturated for quite a while. We're the biggest piece of the puzzle. So the next lesson, we're going to get into the foreign market. And once you understand about the foreign market and that big cash cow, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But we're still the biggest piece of the puzzle in North America, Hollywood. Then we'll start putting it together for that big game plan and how to maximize revenue in the theatrical window, the pay-per-view window, the subscription video on demand window, then goes to the video sale, then the pay cable sale, then the basic cable sale, then network TV sale, then syndication. Then, at the same time, though, you go into a film market, AFM, CAMS, or MeFed, and licensing it to Italy, Germany, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, and Brazil, which is an amazing amount of money coming from there. And it's not a fad, and it's not going to disappear. our next lesson, lesson number 12. We'll start putting that one together. So right now, you just understand something about North American Video / DVD and the cable, basic cable, pay-per-view industries. So once again, you're starting to think business. You're not just going to get a theatrical distributor and talk about profits. We're going to start talking about these windows. You're starting to become a business producer. God bless. Happy filmmaking. See you on the next lesson.